Welcome to the solo podcast of myself, YWJ. Today, actually, I'm going to talk about language, which is it's not something rare in Malaysia because in Malaysia we have different kind of race, we have different ethnic, we have different dialects. Like obviously, I'm Chinese, but I'm able to speak Mandarin，我可以讲华语，而且我可以讲得很好，因为我是从华语学校来，然后我家里也是讲华语长大的。然后I can speak English but not really fluent to be honest. Saya boleh cakap bahasa Melayu kerana I ada banyak kawan Melayu di sini di sana kan. So and also as I'm living in KL, of course I know how to speak Cantonese. 我去講廣東話，所以其實我喺 KL 我都好多朋友我都幫佢哋講廣東話，其實都好似一個普通嘅語言，因為你嚟到 KL 係咪其實全部好多人都係講廣東話，所以如果你唔識講嘅話，你好似有多少俾人哋 left out 咁樣。可能我都係唔 fluent 啦，但係basic communication 我係 OK 啊，好似你去茶室 Auntie 親冰一杯，冇咁甜啊！你哋我 OK 啊，普通 conversation 得啊。如果你要講好似好 fluent 咁樣，我係講唔出噶。So yeah, and also I can speak a little bit of Hokkien, and basically I'm Teochew. 我是 Teochew 人，tapi 我比較打 Teochew 嘅。Okay, it's pretty weird. It's pretty weird. Because I don't grow in a culture like speaking Teochew, but actually I can understand Teochew a little bit, but I can understand more about Hokkien. So people always say that Hokkien and Teochew is always similar. Actually, it is. It's just a bit some of the terms or the things is different. So I grew up in in the culture or the influence of my mom and my grandparents. They speak Hokkien in their house. So whenever we go back to kampong, during Chinese New Year, so they always speak Hokkien. So I also know how to speak Hokkien. And talk about Hakka. Hakka actually I learned from my primary school. So my primary school is a small kampong, and there's a lot of different kind of hawker store. It's a small kampong, and those Chinese are majority is Hakka. So I can speak Hakka too. And today I'm going to share about this languages because this is one of the benefits in Malaysia. And if you are looking for how to learn a language, I have some personal suggestions for you. It's just based on my experience that how I learn a language. So the very first thing is the the background or the culture that you are involved in or the environment you live in since you were young. So I live in my house. My dad can speak a lot of different language, and he's a businessman. So he always speak different kind of dialects in front of us. And of course, when I'm his son, right? We are the children, and we inherit some of the DNA, which is I think it's kind of good DNA, and I kind of able to speak these different kind of dialects. I think is also a gift and a potential that an ability from my dad because we grew up in a different kind of dialects environment. So um, the first thing that I would like to suggest is involve yourself in an environment which is if you want to speak English, try to mix with friends who speak English, or if you want to learn other dialects, try to involve in their community and just listen from them if you couldn't speak really fluent in the early stage. So the first thing you have to do actually you need to understand. I mean, you have to learn to listen about what they are actually talking about and slowly learn from them. So let me give an example. In Malaysia, actually, we widely speak the dialect which is Cantonese. In KL, everyone speak Cantonese or Ipoh. Everyone, I mean, majority speak Cantonese. Malaysian Cantonese because we Malaysian are unique. Okay, we Malaysian are unique. We have different kind of dialects. We have different kind of slang. Mixed up with different kind of language. So what we call bahasa rojak. So bahasa rojak actually is a term in Malaysia which we mix a lot of different kind of language in one sentence or a conversations. So which is really pretty unique, and I would say it's really nice because we have the environment to grow in. And I was speaking of environment, right? So the second thing it was, if you have the urge to learn a language, actually, I would like to suggest you can surf on the internet and look for all the drama series or the movie or the things that you're interested in, and the language of the movie will be the language that you want to learn, and you listen and you watch and how they build the conversations about it. And yeah, actually, like, you learn is easy, you learn is easy, but you a lot of people doesn't have the courage to speak it out. Okay, this is the main things. People don't have the courage to speak it up whenever they feel like, oh shit, if I speak it out wrong and I using a wrong term, people will say like, oh shit, this guy doesn't even how to speak, but try to act pro. But of course, when you're learning a new things, there's a lot of criticism. There's a lot of criticism, but you first things you really, if you want to learn how to speak a language, you have to speak it out, and you don't have to go public and speak the language that you want to learn. Okay, so from the start, you speak with the people that you're comfortable with, and the community that you are in, that you everyone is learning the language. So language is very subjective. I mean, like, learning language process is very subjective. It depends on how hard you want to learn it. And yeah, actually, I think the first one and the second one actually is the main point of us how to learn a language. And I wouldn't say all my language is really fluent, but like just what I mentioned just now, for a daily communication basis, I'm able to nail it. And I was being criticized by a lot of my friends too, you know, especially my brother, because he really speak good English, and his Cantonese is really good. So currently he's in Australia. People thought, well, he was local. Of course he is for my own good, and he gave a lot of advice. Like, he paid a lot of hard works. Okay, he paid a lot of hours. Don't get me wrong. He paid a lot of hard works towards his language proficiency, and and he did try his best to make himself better in language. And I believe he did involve himself in an environment which able him to speak. So, oh yeah, he can speak French too. That's why he's bragging about everything. But yeah, like, if you are involved in an environment, in a community that you like, guys, everyone is learning the same language, or you just speak it out, take up the courage and speak it out. You will find actually there's a lot of benefits um to be able to speak different kind of language. Like, you are Malaysian, you're unique. Okay, so there's a point who can't really deny, which is there's a lot of countries that are looking for Malaysians who can speak different kind of language, because we have the ability, we have the environment to train ourselves. So as long as you have the resources, why not just take advantage of it, right? So don't be afraid to learn a language. It's always hard. Somehow you don't have to learn how to write. You know, I'm Chinese. Since I was kid, I'm in Chinese school, from primary to secondary. I hate write Chinese word, to be honest, because there's a lot of different words to write. It's so hard if compared to English word. But I'm so grateful that my parents put me in Chinese school, that are able to learn my own language. But I'm not here to say if your parents not put you in the Chinese school, they're bad. No. Okay, so it's an option which your parents choose to. There's no right or wrong. Okay, it's just that my parents put me in Chinese school. I did suffer because rumors talk about Chinese school is really strict and really pressure for the kid. They got a point. It's really hard. But I'm really grateful that I'm put in Chinese school and I'm able to meet a lot of different kind of people and they able to speak different kind of dialects. So if you really trying out to learn a language, feel please get involved in the community or the environment which you think it will be workable for you, and get up some courage, speak it out. It will really helps you a lot in the future. If you say in a university, we let's say in a smaller community or a smaller society, which is the university, you're able to nail in your presentations and you're able to communicate with your university friends more well, because among the universities they usually encourage the students to speak English. So yeah, like you can nail it. There's a lot of different kind of benefits if you're able to handle different kind of language. So why not? Don't stop yourself from learning, because language is a really 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 treasure gift that you may have in your life. Also, if you like our content so far, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. If you want me to talk about different kind of topics, feel free to comment down below on the YouTube comment sessions, or you can just go to our Instagram to DM our podcast Instagram account, or you can just DM me in my personal IG. I will have a look. Don't worry, I will have a look, and it will be our content. And I would really like to talk about some things that you guys are interested in, because there's a lot of interesting topics out of everywhere. And yeah, so thank you and see you soon.